Most people think Chrome Neo is just about replacing a material, something that helps companies stay compliant with the European Union rules. But that's not the real story. Because if this were just about regulation, the Gravure industry wouldn't be treating Chrome Neo like a lifeline, which it definitely should. And that's exactly what it is. And let me explain why. For decades, Gravure printing has been the backbone of high-volume packaging production. And if you walk into a supermarket, most of the flexible packaging you see, snacks, hygiene products, pet food, confectionery, has been printed in Gravure. And there's a reason for that. Gravure offers consistency, speed, and quality that are extremely hard to match. When brands run millions of square meters, they rely on Gravure because it simply doesn't drift. What you print on Monday morning looks like what you print on Friday night. But what almost nobody outside the cylinder, the press room, realizes is that the entire stability of Gravure depends on just one little thing: the thin, tiny chrome plating layer. Not the engraving, not the copper, not the ink, the chrome layer. That 3 to 7 micron surface is what allows Gravure to run fast, stable, and with almost zero variation. For the last 30 to 40 years, the industry has relied on the same conventional chrome technology. It worked well, but it came with challenges, not print problems, regulatory issues, safety concerns, and environmental pressure. And eventually, the industry hit a wall. We cannot keep using this material forever. The European Union made that very clear with the 2032 deadline. But even before that, manufacturers were already struggling with increasing compliance requirements, restricted transport, and limitations that slowed innovation. And this is where the real reason Chrome Neo matters becomes impossible to ignore. Chrome Neo isn't important because it's safer. It isn't important because it's compliant. It isn't even important because it performs like conventional chrome. Even though that alone is an achievement, especially with more than 100 cylinders already running successfully in production. Close to 1,000 that day. Chrome Neo matters because it gives Gravure something it hasn't had in decades: room to innovate again. Let me say that again, because it's the real story. The future of Gravure depends on more than replacing a material. It depends on being able to improve, to evolve, to innovate without regulatory handcuffs. For years, conventional chrome has been "don't touch it" technology. You couldn't experiment too much. You couldn't push boundaries. You definitely couldn't redesign the process because compliance was already tight. Gravure Neo changes that. Suddenly, we can focus on lifetime, on surface optimization, on stabilizing high speeds, on improving efficiency for printers. Because the biggest advantage of Chrome Neo is what it solves today. It's what it allows us to build tomorrow. And that's the part most people completely miss. Everyone sees Chrome Neo as a replacement. I see it as the foundation, a platform that will let the Gravure industry keep evolving for the next 20 or 30 years, instead of being stuck defending a technology that regulators were always going to phase out, for good reason. If Gravure wants to stay competitive against flexo, digital, offset, and all those other printing technologies, it needs freedom, peace of mind, freedom to innovate, freedom to improve, freedom to push boundaries of print quality, durability, and speed. Conventional chrome couldn't give us that peace of mind. Chrome Neo can. Yes, it's safer. Yes, it's compliant. Yes, the early cylinders have matched conventional chrome in hardness, thickness, and performance. But more importantly, it removes the ceiling. It removes the limitations that were slowing everyone down. That's why Chrome Neo will save Gravure. Not because it replaces the past, but because it unlocks the future. If you want to understand how this transition affects your production, what changes, what doesn't, and how to start testing Chrome Neo, I've put together a practical guide you can download below. Thanks for watching.